Let's bring in Sportsnet's Arash Madani right now. And you know what? They saw, Arash, that you were coming on, so I've got a flood of Blue Jays questions already for you from our viewers. So the people are jacked. But before we do, have you got some CFL takes on CFL, XFL this season? I haven't heard much from you on that.
Where to begin, Roddy? Where would you possibly like to start on that? Because I am all ears on where you'd like to go with it.
Other than I said earlier, I'm waiting any day for an announcement on a delay to the start of training camps, and Darren thinks it's because they don't have a date to delay it to yet, and I said I think it'll be delayed indefinitely. That's what I'm waiting for. You?
Delayed indefinitely is absolutely the situation. Look, the training camps are supposed to start the middle of May. Depending on the team and when their report date may be, it could be as early as May 15th, May 18th. On Thursday, it's April 1st. We're basically talking 6.5 weeks, Rod. Right? If we're just going to do the math here. So I've been speaking with people around the league. Do they have their quarantine plan yet? No. Did BC just go into lockdown? Yes. What's happening in Ontario? Nobody really knows. Does Edmonton have an equipment manager? Does Montreal have an equipment manager? What flights are booked? What accommodations are confirmed? Where are you going to have training camp? How long is it going to be? None of these questions are answered. So you're running out of time. So, of course, a week or two ago, the CFL is going to go through its Russian state television channels to say we want a 20% pay cut for our players, because they'll put the blame on the players when in reality they're running out of time. I saw my friends over at Bodog had a great prop today of, will there be an 18-game season? Will the season go 1 to 17 games or none at all? It makes all the sense in the world right now at minus 105, which is very good juice, that the CFL season plays between 1 and 17 regular season games. There is no way, as we sit here today, Roddy, that they can even get to the starting line to get the season started on time unless they're going to do something ridiculous and irresponsible with the length of training camp. Something like, they may pull a stunt like, okay, we'll do a 10-day training camp and no preseason games and go. But I thought player safety was paramount. So I just don't see how this gets off the ground in any way on time.
Me too. It makes me wonder why they would propose a 20% pay cut to play without fans at the start of the year when you're probably not going to kick off on time anyways. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'd rather talk more positive stuff and move on to Blue Jays unless you have any more points on this.
I guess my point is this, Rod, on the whole XFL thing. You are willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater to team up with a brand that has twice folded with no guarantee that it's going to last more than a year. A lot of the same people who are almost ridiculing spring football for not having a chance to exist, who ridiculed around a year ago at this time that the XFL folded, are now saying this is the only thing we have left. And, you know, it's a league who came out in August and said, we're going to find new, different business ventures to go down. They came up with a Grey Cup, what was it? A Grey Cup
Unite.
Fan base?
Oh, the fan base,
the
yes.
Grey Cup fan base. That was supposed to generate some revenue. I'm told, give or take, they were able to bring in about $1.5 million in revenue. So nothing when it's $300 a pop. And then it's this. What else have we heard, Roddy, from the league in terms of what new business model plans may look like? I haven't heard any of you.
No, it's the hope and the prayer that the majority of people are vaccinated and we play before crowds, right? That's where it's at.
I mean, I just mean in terms of the XFL thing. It's the CFL for a number of years now has just looked for effectively a vaccine to save it. Remember, first, as soon as the Argos were going to move out of Rogers Center, that was going to be it. They're going to move to BMO Field. And then they're going to have tailgating, and it was going to sweep the city, and everything was going to be fine. And then CFL 2.0 and this ridiculous global program That was going to save everything. And now it's the XFL and Dwayne Johnson because he once slept on a mattress and he's grateful for Wally Buono. That's now going to save it. There's no magic touch here. You have to roll up your sleeves, sell tickets 2 by 2, and do the work. This is not Folgers. This is not instant coffee. This is not add water, add partnership with another league, and all our problems are solved, especially a league that's folded twice in the 2000s.
Yeah, well, when John Frenzy sits in here and says they're not doing enough, that's what he is referring to, exactly what Arash is saying. Just from some of the viewers, Jeff in Calgary, Jeff Stamp says, love it, Arash. You are speaking the truth. From Kent Ridley in Nashville, good to see Arash on the show. From Armando Moreno, he's in Mexico City, he says, tell Mr. Madani to please stop putting all the blame on global players. Wayne in Victoria, BC, wow, sharp-dressed Arash. Nice suit. I don't ever get tired of telling you how great you look, by the way, man. It's super. Love it.
I appreciate it. Now, I'm not blaming global players for anything, Rod. I'm blaming a program that is flawed. Yeah. I'm blaming a program that is asking for global players to make a 3-year commitment that they can't get out of with a max salary of $54,000 mandated by the league. And if you're a global player that's not a kicker or a punter, you have to unseat an American player to get on the field. It's not the player that I'm criticizing at all. I feel bad for the guys who are being put in an impossible situation. It's the structure of this program that just doesn't work.
Okay, so Josh Elliott writes this on Twitter, and he says, I got a question for Arash. With Pearson beginning the season injured and Yates out for the year, if there wasn't a panic about our pitching already, there most definitely is now. Why isn't Ross Atkins going out and trading for a pitcher? Are they waiting for June/July?
Yeah, it's a great question. And my belief, the answer to this is there aren't a lot of teams right now at the end of camp, at the beginning of the season, who are going to trade any arms right now. Everybody's going into the season with the group that they have. If you were going to make some moves, you're going to do so in the offseason, early in camp. But at this stage of things, your roster effectively is what it is for the first 6 or so weeks of the season. Now, the Blue Jays are going to patchwork their way through the season. Trent Thornton's going to get some innings. Ryan Borucki's going to get some innings. They're hopeful that Julian Mayweather can give them a little bit of length. They have 3 left. They're comfortable going with 3 lefties in their bullpen to do so. I understand the Pearson thing. I don't think Pearson was ever going to throw 160 innings this year. If he can get to around 100 or so, like my over-under on him making the big league roster is going to be around Victoria Day because he still isn't throwing off the mound because of the groin issue. But they have Ryu as their ace. That much we do know. They're hoping that Tanner Roark can just give them some innings. They're hoping Steven Matz can put 2020 behind him and go back to the kind of production that he had in years prior. To answer the question, if the Jays are in any kind of conversation after the draft in mid-June, then I think they're going to go address it because by then there are going to be some teams that are out of the conversation in terms of October, and that's when they address it. At this point, at this stage of things, this is effectively what they're going to have, and there's going to be a lot of shuffling back and forth, AAA and the taxi squad over at the alternate site, just to bring arms back and forth that they can throw out there at the big league level.
Overall, what was your assessment of the Blue Jays spring training performance? Because it's over now, and as you know, they opened the season Thursday in New York. They had some big comebacks. They put a lot of runs on the board. They continue to be exciting. Just the body of work of the preseason, what was your takeaway of this year's Blue Jays team?
Well, I think a lot of people get caught up in spring training results, and I put, honestly, Roddy, other than some pitching, zero stock into it. I'm looking at the bigger questions. Vlad Guerrero is down 45 pounds. He's hitting the ball well, yes, but he's moving around better defensively. That is actually If you're a Blue Jays fan, that is a real sign in the good direction that the light is turned on for Vlad and he's taking that next step in his big league career. I'm encouraged by Cavan Biggio wanting to be the everyday third baseman if I'm a Blue Jay fan. Getting to the park early, taking a lot of ground balls there. He said, I accomplished what I wanted to get done this spring to make that transition. It's still going to be a lot of... Cavan told me last year, third base is where I feel most comfortable with, but there's still a long way to go for him to be an everyday third baseman. If you're a Blue Jay fan, you'd have to be encouraged by... Again, I'm mainly talking defensively here. Marcus Semien and Bo Bichette. They were in every single defensive group together in their practice drills. They're gaining some chemistry at shortstop and second base up the middle together. They're trying to make that happen on the fly. But the biggest thing to me, Rod, I look at the questions. Vlad, can he take that next step this season? Biggio, can he be a third baseman? Ryu, can he throw 180-plus innings? Can George Springer stay healthy? Oblique issues linger. He's still not cleared as of 12:30 Eastern Time, 49 hours away from opening day, of being on the opening day roster. I don't think he's going to make it for New York on Thursday, but can Springer be healthy? There are a lot of big questions here. Teoscar Hernandez coming off the Silver Slugger Award. Can he continue to do what he did last year? Based on what we saw in spring, there are some promising signs, but man, there is a long way to go still.
Sure, but as your good friend Tim Leeper, the longtime Jays first base coach, said, it's exciting. It's time. These kids, it's time. And that's very exciting. And he said, by the way, the last time you went out to visit him, he's still finding empty wine bottles around his cottage. What did you do to that guy in Muskoka?
What did I do to Leap, or what did Leaper do to me? I think that's the better question. Right? I mean, I'll leave it at that. But he is one of the best dudes that you will meet. Not in sports, not in baseball, period. Just one of the best dudes you'll meet, Leaper. And he is becoming a really solid baseball analyst. I hear him on radio. I text him. I said, damn you, Leaper. Every time I listen to you, I learn something. And I think that's the mark of a really good sports analyst.
No doubt. Clark wants to know, before you run, what is your role on Blue Jays broadcast this year?
So it's similar to last season, a little different. Dan Schulman will be doing all the road games from studio. Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler will do all the home games, well, the first 2 months of the home games from Dunedin. And then Dan's partner will be Buck or Tabby from their respective homes. Doing it remotely. I watched a lot of ESPN NBA basketball. That's what a lot of them are doing. A lot of the college football is the same. Hazel and I will be doing the sideline reporting from studio. We'll have interviews pregame with players, in-game stories, that kind of thing. But we will be, at least while they play games in Dunedin, from studio. Roddy, if you can tell me what the border situation is going to be by June or July, I can let you know. But the Blue Jays are hopeful that they're going to play home games here this season at some point. Not sure if that's going to happen or not. Again, it's March. But as of now, that's where we are. But what's the expression these days? Everything is fluid. Everything is fluid. One
day at a time. Who would have thought 2 straight years of the Jays not playing in Toronto or opening the season? Unbelievable. Arash, this has been fantastic, man. You look busy, so we'll let you get back to your thing, but thanks for the time today. Loved it.
You got it. Appreciate it, Roddy. One last thing for your audience. If you're into investment opportunities, I'm prone to put down a shekel or two. My friends at Bodog have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at 27 home runs for the season. I like the over. I like Cavan Biggio, over 89.5 runs. Cavan's going to be playing a lot of baseball this season if he stays healthy. They want him to be the everyday third baseman. Those are a couple little nuggets I'd pass along your way.
Outstanding. All right. Just don't bet on the Sabres to win like we did yesterday. Thank you, sir.
Okay. See you, boys.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani. You can catch him on Tim and Friends as well for the time being.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.